Today it's going to be a pretty short video as I am going through and I'm doing a lot of prep for my next project, which is going to be a potato chip block project. And this is going to be a potato chip block that you haven't ever seen before. So definitely you want to tune in for that when I get that done. So in the meantime, all of these potato chip quilts, they feature scraps. They're great scrap busters. And so I want to show you how I go through and try to process a whole bunch of these at once. And so I have a lot of different scraps here. I do have a lot of conventional 2.5-inch scraps that most of which I have cut, because when it comes to the 2.5-inch strips, personally I find pre-cuts to be pretty expensive for the yardage whenever I calculate it. And I tend to have a pretty good amount of stash anyway, and I would rather just go through and buy the fabrics that I want out of a particular collection. I just go through and just cut my own strips. And so these are some strips that I've cut for previous projects. These are not full width of fabric strips. That's another thing about this is when it comes to a full width of fabric type of a strip, I always like to save those. I don't like to cut into them for something like this because there's a lot of projects I like to do where it's like making strip sets or making a strip set and making a strip tube out of that and cutting that. And usually with those, oftentimes you want to have width of fabric, and there's a lot of times it might be like half of the width of fabric, but I like to keep my options open that way. Everything I'm doing this way in this video is stuff that I have already cut into it. I've used it in previous projects. And so in this case, I have like some kind of whites and creams, tone on tone type fabrics. I do have a little bit of pre-cuts. You can see these pinked edges, that's definitely a pre-cut. And in the case of the pinked edges, I like to go through, since those pinked edges tend to be a little bit wider, the valley part of that pink tends to be what is actually the 2.5. And so instead of trying to figure out when I'm lining stuff up, I would rather just go ahead and trim that bit off. And so I've got that off of that side. And then it is easier to line this up on the gray part of the cutting mat since this is an off-white strip. There we go. And so I have all of that. I can get that into kind of a discard zone. And then this is 4.5 inches. So this strip is ready to go, and I'm going to put that into a pile. Now you'll notice here that I have a lot of white and off-white fabric, and I have a lot of blue fabric. And that's because for this project, I am going to make more of a blue and white quilt out of it. I like to keep to some kind of a palette. I like to put some kind of guide rules in place for myself when it comes to making these scrappy quilts. And so a potato chip quilt is no exception to this. I have a large enough stash that I have pretty much the whole spectrum of hues. So I have plenty of blue. I tend to work with blue a lot. And I have plenty of white and off-white because that tends to be a very useful fabric to have for background or negative space. I like to process things like this. This is a remnant off of making a shirt for my husband. And so it's a very irregular kind of a size. And so for something like this, I am just going to go ahead and just cut along one of these. And see, I have a notch there from when I was sewing the shirt. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And it's 2 layers, so I'm just going to save this for something else in the future because I might want a bigger scrap. And I do have some different sizes I like to work with. I like to work with a lot of 10-inch and 10.5-inch. I also like to work with more like maybe 5, 6, and 8. And then one of the things that can be very, very useful when it comes to processing these is if you happen to have one of these strip cutters. The nice thing about this is the Creative Grids Stripology Mini. And so I can line that up. So I'm lining up a line here all the way across. And then I've got it right on the edge. And then I can just go like that. And then I can go to the 4.5. Like that. And now I have a couple of nice pieces for this project. And then this right here, I can just go ahead and save this for something else. But I think what I'm going to do is that I know for this project I'm going to need a few 2.5-inch squares. So I'm just going to turn that into a square, a couple of squares there. And then I've got a nice option for some squares that go into this project. So right here, I have a whole bunch of smaller scraps that I dug out of my scrap bin. And so what I'm doing is, this is kind of a smaller piece, and I actually went through and put some of the bigger pieces on the bottom, but it looks like some small pieces ended up underneath those. First things first, I want to kind of measure this. I can see right off, this is 4.5. That's past the 4.5. This is right at about the 4.5. And so these guys, I want to orient these a different direction. And so I'm going to go ahead and put these like that. And then I know with these, I can only get one out of it. And so I'm going to go ahead and do it like that. I'm going to do this one like that. And the nice thing about having something underneath that is actually almost exactly 4.5 is that I can use that as a guide rule for the pieces that I place on top of it. Here's another piece here. These pieces are all good. This one looks like it's just barely past the 4.5 on that short end, so that will be really good this way. And then I have these. Let's go ahead and place these in. And so for this, I have this 2.5-inch wide ruler. It's 2.5 inches wide by 18 inches wide, but I don't really care about the 18 inches in this case. So for this, I can just place that right on the top. And then I just cut the whole thing. And so then I can put it next to where that was at, and I can see how many of these I can get for a second cut. And actually, in this case, so I know that one and that one and that one, those are not big enough, but these are great scraps. Anything that's 1 inch and above, between 1 and 2.5 inches, is a great scrap for making string quilts. So I always like to save that. But yeah, I like this flower here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that flower edge right there so that I can have that in this quilt, and that is going to be really nice. So now I have these, and then what I can do is I can just kind of position, make sure that everything is good that way. Oh, and then with this, I need to clean up that other side, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, there we go. And of course, have a sharp blade in your rotary cutter. It really makes a big difference. So I'm going to just kind of go through these, try to put the smaller pieces together, but I'm trying to also preserve those sides. So let's see, yeah, that's kind of a smaller piece. So let's put that one on top of those. And then these guys are all about, and I can kind of like put them together, kind of like you're doing a deck of cards. And then these I haven't really touched, so that's fine. So I could put those on there, put those on there. I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of tap that like it's a deck of cards. And so I have those lined up, and this is where that Creative Grid stripology can come in really nice and handy again. Here's my 4.5, here's my 0. Everything looks like it's lining up really nice. And there you go. Just out of that, I have, gosh, I don't know how many pieces. Yeah, it's a lot. It's like probably more than 12. So just like that. So I can put those over onto this blue stack. So another thing is that I had some extra strips where I had sewn them together for the mirror project. In that case, I can just take this and I can whack it 4.5 inches. And so I did do exactly that on those, and I seam ripped it. And then I had one where I had not folded it, but I had done the same thing. I'd sewed it. And so this is pretty simple. I can just go through. I've whacked this to 4.5 inches. I know that it's 2.5 inches there. And so I can just very quickly release these seams. So now I have a couple pieces, really easy for this project. And then this is a cutoff of a border. And so this is a 2.5-inch strip that I did. I can do the same thing where I just go through and seam rip that. So I have these longer pieces here, and these are all pieces from a project, from different projects I did where I was doing more like 3.5-inch type of strips. So on these, just a simple enough thing with it, I'm just going to line it up. This seems to be the smallest remnant that I have. So I'm lining that up. I'm going to make that be 4.5 inches. And then this right here, that's nice. so I can use that. I'm going to go for another 4.5 out of that. Just like that. And now I can just take these and I can just line these up, and then I'm just going to whack them all at the same time. Okay. So now I'm going to show you what I do with the bigger yardage. So with bigger yardage, I take these pieces where they're not fat quarters anymore. Also, some of these larger pieces that are leftovers from like a shirt making project or whatever, borders, that kind of thing. And I just go ahead and I get everything pressed. And so I just put the bottom layer, press it, and just keep building these layers until I get a nice big fat stack. So this right here is definitely over 10 fabrics. So what's nice about this, I have the bottom one where I have that selvage right there. And then that's kind of like more of what became the leading edge. I've got this thing that was from making a shirt. So I'm just going to kind of line it up with this fabric that I see back here. I'm going to use this ruler, and this is where it's nice and handy to have that 18 inches. And so now I can just cut all the way down. And now I have quite a lot of these scraps that I can work with. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut one more of these, because even though I probably won't use all of these, then I can have them in place for another project. And at the very least, it can be like a 2.5-inch wide strip by longer than 4.5, and that can be useful to me in a lot of ways. That's a very useful scrap size for me. And so now I have that, and all of this, I'm just going to kind of loosely fold it and put it back into the scrap area. And when it comes to doing this, just do what is comfortable. If you're not comfortable cutting through like 12 layers, whatever, and feeling like you can do an accurate cut, then do fewer layers. Do like 4 layers, 6 layers, something like that. But, you know, do whatever's going to work for you. Okay. Okay, so just like that, I have a lot of scraps that I have cut up for this. And these are all the scraps I cut up. These are scraps that I cut up earlier. Yeah, so I cut up a lot of scraps all at once there. And I have definitely more than enough scraps to do this project at this point. So I hope this has been helpful for you to kind of think about how you want to treat the potato chip pieces. And this gives you a strategy so that you can go through and efficiently process your scraps. And I will see you next time.